It's the age-old question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Don't worry about the answer because today we've got them both. Starting with a grilled and golden chicken paillard, topped with my secret ingredient.
It's a French thing. It's essentially butter with all sorts of flavorings in it that you roll up like a party favor and then slice off pieces when you have something you want to add instant sauce to. My quick grilled chicken with a very wonderful date butter. Yum!
And then...
Chicken and lemons is a match made in heaven. And when you throw in artichokes, it's just over the top. I'm going to take those three ingredients down a Middle Eastern route and show you how to make quick lemon pickles, because this is where all the flavor is.
I promised eggs, and I bring you œuf from my buddy, the French chef Frédéric Goudineau.
We're gonna make savory galettes. Today we will make with a fried egg, ham and cheese.
Ham, egg, and cheese. That is so American. Thank you. I'm going to show you how to make my French salad. And we're going to make something that looks like a rose.
Chicken or eggs? You don't have to choose. Today on Sara's Weeknight Meals.
Today I'm making a really fun sauce. It's called a compound butter. It's a French thing. It's essentially butter with all sorts of flavorings in it that you roll up like a party favor and then slice off pieces when you have something you want to add instant sauce to, like a grilled steak or lamb chop. Today I'm making a very unusual butter, though, with dates. Dates are amazing. They're a very good source of fiber, and they lend themselves to all kinds of recipes, including savory. I'm sure you've heard of this wonderful hors d'oeuvre that you should all make if you haven't. Dates stuffed with either manchego or blue cheese or any salty cheese, wrapped with bacon and baked. Killer. So I've got in here half a pound of unsalted butter and 1/3 cup of finely minced pitted deglet nor dates. To that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of minced shallot. I like shallots because they add a little bit of sweetness and a lot of crunch. Half a teaspoon of minced garlic. A tablespoon of Dijon mustard, which provides salt and some acid. A tablespoon of sherry vinegar. I love sherry vinegar, and that's the acid that will cut through the sweetness in the dates. And 2 teaspoons of hot smoked paprika. Now, if you can't find the hot version, you can certainly use regular paprika plus some cayenne. I like both the smoke and the heat. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Here we go. Trying to keep it in the bowl, of course. And now that it's all mixed, I'm going to put it on a piece of parchment paper and roll it up into a log. I'm going to just sort of pile it in here to begin with. You could make 2. I'm going to make 1 big fat roll. You could make 2 thinner rolls. By the way, straight up, as we have it right now, would be great with bread. Now, this is fun. At this point, this becomes a little bit of a kindergarten art project. So you sort of use the parchment paper to shape the butter, and you twist the ends like a party favor, you know, like what you have at New Year's. So I'm going to pop this in the fridge to chill for a couple hours and get my chicken. All right. I have some here that I already made that's firmed up, and my chicken. I like to slice the butter ahead of time because you don't want to put cold butter on hot meat because then the butter won't melt properly. And we want the butter to melt and mix with the juices of the chicken. For each piece of chicken, I'm going to do a couple thin slices of butter. And then this can go back in the fridge or the freezer. So this is going to soften. And let me tell you all the things you can put this on. Besides bread, you could put it on top of steak, lamb chops, fish, mashed potatoes. So we're just going to let that soften over here and get going with our chicken. What we're making today, again, is a French thing. I'm sorry, I go back to my French roots all the time. That was my training. We're making something called chicken paillard. And essentially what that means is flattened chicken. So I've gotten thin sliced chicken, and by all means, if you can, use that, because then all you have to do is pound it. But if all you can find is the big, thick chicken breasts, pop them in the freezer for 30 minutes, cut them in half horizontally, and then go ahead and pound them the way I'm going to show you right now. But here's a trick. Regardless of what kind of chicken you're using, you should use a little water. Why? So it doesn't shred. When I put it on top of the plastic wrap to pound it, I put a little water down first. Underneath the chicken, I put more water sprinkled on top, another layer of plastic wrap, and then I pound it. And the water helps the chicken to slide as it's pounded rather than stick and shred. Now, this is a great thing to do after a bad day at the office or the kids have been really annoying. Try not to go over the edges. Just get it on here, and then I'm going to wash my hands. Salt and pepper. We've got the grill preheating. We want it to be medium high. You oil the protein, not the grill. Okay, we're good to go. I'm gonna go put these on the grill. All right, that looks wonderful. I'm gonna just put a little bit of the juices from the chicken right on it. And the butter. And at this point, you decide, do I want a lot of butter? Do I want a little butter? More butter. I'm channeling Julia Child. More butter. And then we're just gonna let that melt. And I'm gonna get some parsley. You could top it with any chopped fresh herbs and some asparagus. And there you go. My quick grilled chicken with a very wonderful date butter. Yum! Chicken and lemons is a match made in heaven. And when you throw in artichokes, it's just over the top. I'm gonna take those 3 ingredients down a Middle Eastern route and show you how to make quick lemon pickles. I've got some chicken thighs here that I'm browning. I patted them dry, 8 chicken thighs. I'm browning them skin side down. I salted and peppered the skin side, and I'm just letting them finish up. I already did half because we don't want to crowd the pan because we like that nice color. And while they're finishing browning, just gonna turn them down a tiny bit, I'm gonna talk about the lemon pickles. So you pick up the lemon and you squeeze it, and you see that I'm not getting any kind of give. What that means is there's a lot of white pith right under the lemon. We don't want that white part of the lemon, or not a lot of it anyway, because it's very bitter. So instead, you want a lemon like this one. You'll see how much give there is, because that means there's less of that white stuff. So it'll be less bitter when we make our pickle. For this recipe, we're gonna need 2½ lemons. I know that seems odd, but I'm sure you can find a use for the other half. And we're gonna slice them 1/4 inch thick. And this is sort of important because we're just gonna cure them for a couple of days, so we need the salt to penetrate. I'm gonna put 1 layer of lemons in here. Try to spread them out so they're not overlapping too much. We need 3 tablespoons of kosher salt, and then I'm gonna sprinkle half the salt on top evenly. And this is gonna get rinsed off later. Okay, so that's about 1.5 tablespoons, and then we're gonna put another layer on top and sprinkle the rest of the salt. And then we cover these with a plastic wrap, and we leave them at room temperature for about, well, anywhere from 12 to 48 hours. You know, 48 hours, they're gonna be more deeply pickled, they're gonna be much softer, and if you take them out at 12 hours, they'll be a little crunchier. All right, I'm gonna take these over and cover them up, but just before I do that, I know my chicken's ready, so I'm just gonna take it out, turn off the pan, and save some of the fat. we're looking for some nice color. See, we've got nice color there, because this is where all the flavor is. And we've got some wonderful brown bits in the bottom of the pan that will add to the sauce. This is a fun dish. It all gets baked in this pan, so it's like no muss, no fuss, too. Let me just put a little plastic wrap on these. So here I have a half batch that I made that's been curing for a couple of days and looks a little more translucent. It's more tender. It's been pickled. And now I'm going to rinse these to get rid of the excess salt and then pat them dry. Remove any seeds. I want to make sure these are dry on both sides because we're going to brown them. Good. These are now ready to go. Okay, it's the artichoke moment. I'm using canned artichokes. You could also use frozen artichokes. Actually, if I had my choice between canned or frozen, I'd pick canned. They tend to have more flavor and be less watery, even though they're packed in sort of a watery liquid. You're horrified? Oh my goodness, you're not using fresh artichokes? Remember, this is a weeknight meal. I don't think anybody's going to take the time to prep fresh artichokes hearts. If you want to, go ahead. This is just one 13 to 14 ounce can. We're just draining of the liquid because water is very important to get rid of when you want to get color and flavor. So we're going to pat these guys dry, then they're going to get wonderfully brown. So remember, we saved a couple tablespoons of fat. We started with olive oil, tablespoon to brown the chicken, and then we had 2 tablespoons of chicken fat and olive oil mixed when we were done. And we're going to brown the artichokes in there. So this will just take a few minutes to brown. You have to be patient. Like anything else when you're browning, don't move it until it slides a little bit, which means that it's already developed a crust. I taught my daughter how to do this. My daughter, believe it or not, doesn't cook. She loves to eat. That's all I care about. She makes a mean salad and a beautiful vinaigrette. But I taught her how to brown artichokes, and she now makes a wonderful pasta dish. And she always starts this way, and it's her one dish, but she wows people with it. I think these guys are about ready to turn. Yep. So you wouldn't think they'd get this kind of color, but they do because we patted them dry. We used the right amount of oil, and we took the time to let them get that nice color. They only need about another minute on the other side. While he's finished browning, I'm going to go get the wine, which is our liquid in here. I'm using a nice dry white, a Sauvignon Blanc. You could use a Pinot Grigio, any dry white you like. This is not a sweet dish. So we need about 1/3 cup. You could eyeball it or measure it. And I think those are looking very good. Okay, so first we're going to put in our wine, and it's going to spatter up. We're going to stir it. The artichokes are going to fall apart a little bit, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to be yummy. And now I'm going to put all the chicken back in. And it's going to be a little crowded, but it doesn't matter because we already browned the chicken. Now, see all those juices right there? Those have flavor, so those go in too. And finally, I'm going to tuck the lemons in between the chicken thighs. It will flavor the whole dish, give off more juice, add some salt. Okay. And now the whole thing goes in the oven at 350 for, I'm going to say 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how big the thighs are. These guys are sort of big, but we're going to check them and see. They should be very firm. Ooh, that smells good. Now, one thing I'm going to do is just make sure. Yeah, I can see that that's very firm. That's my indication that it's done. So we're going to transfer this over here. And what's great about this dish, besides everything else that's great about this dish, is it creates its own sauce while it cooks. So the chicken juices and the lemon juices and the wine and the artichokes all sort of mingle and create something very tasty. Now these lemons are completely edible because they've gotten very tender in the oven and also from pickling. And then I'm just going to pour all these juices over the top with the artichokes. I want to point out there's only 5 ingredients in this dish if you don't count the salt and the garnish I'm just about to put on, which is cilantro. You could finish this with dill or with parsley. There we go. A perfect weeknight meal. My chicken thighs with pickled lemons and artichoke hearts. Today with my friend Chef Frédéric from France, and you're going to show me, I'm so excited, a dish that could be a nice weeknight meal. What are we making?
Yes, exactly. We're going to make savory galettes, which is the salty version of the crepe. Today we will make with a fried egg, ham and cheese.
Oh, ham, egg, and cheese. That is so American. Thank you. Okay, so where do we start?
We start by so you will mix the dry ingredients.
Okay.
So 2 cups of buckwheat flour.
You never use measuring cups, right? No. You weigh things. Okay. We're doing cups because a lot of American cooks like to measure. If you were going to weigh them, you'd need 240 grams of buckwheat flour. And then
you need 1/2 cup of
all-purpose
flour. A pinch of salt.
A pinch of salt, that's about a 1/2 teaspoon. And I'm going to whisk this up.
Exactly.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, I'm going to do the wet ingredients. So I take 1 large egg, a cup of milk, and a cup of water.
And that's just regular whole milk, right?
Yes, whole milk. Now we're going to add the liquid into the dry ingredient.
It should be the consistency of a thin pancake batter. You could do this in a blender. Of course, he would not because he's French. But you just throw everything in a blender and hit the button. Okay, Chef, do you want to take over here and just see if you like it? So now what happens?
Now we're going to let it rest.
Okay.
Because it's a French recipe, so it needs to rest.
Those French are so lazy. No, really, the reason that it needs to rest is to let the gluten relax in the flour so that you have a very tender crepe in the end. While that's resting, I'm going to show you how to make my French salad, okay?
Sure.
Can you bring up the toppings over there? This is something I used to make at a restaurant in 1978 when I was just 12. And it's just a very pretty presentation. Let me mention, I have this dressing. We're not going to make it today, but don't worry, the recipe will be online so you can find it. It's a creamy garlic dressing, which has sherry vinegar in it. If you're not a fan of raw garlic, there's just a tiny bit, but if you're not, you can use shallots, chopped shallots. And what do you think?
I prefer shallots as well.
You don't want garlic breath?
No.
No, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, this is butter lettuce, Boston lettuce, and we're going to make something that looks like a rose. So we start with the larger leaves on the outside.
Sure.
Okay, and then we build it up. It's sort of counterintuitive to what the French usually do because, yeah, you have to press it down. Good for you. Because they like to toss the greens with the dressing. We're not going to do that today. Oh, you got a big one, but that's because you're a boy. Okay, so I have a little one. You have a big one. There we go. Okay, so now we have some cherry tomatoes, scallions, cucumber, and these are pepitas, pumpkin seeds. So we just sprinkle these around, tuck in the tomatoes, tuck it into the various parts. We don't need a ton. Oh, isn't that lovely? Okay, so now we're going to just drizzle this yummy dressing, and then we're all set and can go back and work on our crepes.
The clarified butter.
What is clarified butter?
So this is butter that we are melting very slowly, and we get the 3 layers.
The top layer is the scum, which is protein solids. The middle layer is the butter oil, which is what we want.
Yes.
And the bottom layer is milk solids, which is watery stuff. But you don't. This has been melted, And it looks like it's only got 2 layers. Where's the scum?
Because it's a good quality butter. It's coming from France. This is why.
Oh, it is French butter. Therefore, it is better butter. Why do we want to just get to the butter oil?
To avoid that the butter burns.
What makes the butter burn are the milk solids and the protein.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. This is a fun thing. The French use it to saute.
Yes,
Because you
exactly.
wouldn't use oil, right?
No,
Why not?
because we like butter.
Okay, I like it. Julia would like that answer because we like butter. Okay, very good. The only trouble is you take a pound of butter and you melt it and skim off the top and pour off the bottom. You only end up about 12 ounces. You go from 16 ounces to 12 ounces. You lose a fair amount of the butter. Okay.
This is the butter.
Got a good night's rest. And we're using a crepe pan.
Crepe pan, non-stick pan, basically.
Okay, non-stick pan.
So you take a brush. Not every crepe, we just do for
Just the first one.
First one.
You just need to get some oil in there.
Exactly.
Now, how do you know when it's hot enough, the pan?
You see some smoke, you know.
Until it's almost starts smoking.
Yes.
Okay, so we just have to wait half a second. Oh, you know what they say about the first crepe? It's like the first pancake. Sometimes you have to throw it out, but not with Chef Frederic. You may notice that this keeps beeping. It's because we're using an induction burner, and it doesn't like it when we take the pan off of it. But what's great about induction is it heats up really fast, and the burner itself does not get hot, so it's very safe. Oh, this takes no time at all.
No.
It looks sort of, oh, beautiful. Wow, that's lovely. It doesn't take as long on the second side as the first, correct?
Yeah, and then we're gonna flip it inside.
And can I make one?
Sure.
Here we go. You gotta work really quickly. It sets almost as soon as it hits the pan. Oops. Okay. You think it's ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yay.
As beautiful as mine.
Oh, that was so nice of you. Thank you. So now you're going to show me how to do
A fried egg inside the ring.
Oh, inside the ring.
Yes.
Wow, I love that. Oh, that's so wonderful. So if you don't have one of these pretty rings at home, take a can of tuna or salmon, take off the top and the bottom, wash it out like crazy, and then you can use the tin.
A little bit of salt.
A little bit of salt.
While the egg is cooking, let me get the ham and cheese. We're gonna slice it into a julienne. For the cheese.
What kind of cheese are we using?
Emmental cheese.
Emmentaler. It's one of the two cheeses you use for fondue.
Yes.
Wow, that looks like it's done.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna remove it. Then I'm gonna assemble the crepe. So basically you take the crepe on your table, you just fold it to make it nice.
Oh, that's very pretty.
Just
Weighted down with a little cheese.
a little bit of cheese, a little bit of ham. Then I'm gonna take out, so you take a knife, take out.
I'm going to save all my tuna fish and salmon cans from now on. Much nicer presentation. Oh, wow.
That's it, and you just put
Put
it
it
back
in to melt.
inside.
That is gorgeous. What a magic trick.
Few
Yummy.
seconds for the heat to come from the bottom
And
to melt the cheese. The egg is already cooked, so there's no need.
Très joli. Très beau. Très beau. Oh, it's a boy thing, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Très joli is for a
Girl.
human being.
Oh, okay. Thank you for correcting me.
So I think it's ready.
Yeah,
The cheese
wow.
starts to
I
melt, so
can
we
see,
can
yeah.
stop it and put it directly on the plate. I'm gonna put it
Oh,
onto
that's
the
so
plate.
beautiful.
There we go.
And because it's an induction, we can put the plate on there. Doesn't heat up. Oh, I'm so excited.
Please.
Yes. Okay. I get the first bite?
Yes.
I'm going to break the yolk?
Yes.
Okay, I feel very honored. Nice crispy bottom. Wow. So that is so wonderful. That is it. Our ham, egg, and cheese galette. Yay. Wonderful weeknight meal. Thank you.
Thank you.